What's going on, everybody? Today I have some unfortunate news to share with you all. This was just posted on the official forums regarding 7.2 Legends runs, Mercs, and the future of the Legends program. I'm going to read through it and share my thoughts on it all. So, Summoners. Many of you have been patiently awaiting the results of the 7.2 Legends runs and the prizes that come along with the titles. In recent months, we've made great strides in identifying summoners that did not play this content legitimately, or had others play the content for them, commonly referred to as using mercs. As part of this, we made it very clear that the use of a VPN is not to be allowed in 7.2 Legends runs. However, every time we make progress in detecting this behavior or add restrictions to uphold the fairness of the contest, players that do not play the content in the manner that is meant to be played find new ways to circumvent or confuse our methods. Using third-party software and mercs not only cheapens the skills and work that players that do not cheat put into achieving their titles and beating difficult content, it detracts from the spirit of competition the Legends program was designed to instill. While we can be fairly confident that we are identifying and catching all of these players, this is a manual process that takes us hundreds of hours to complete, and there are some outliers where we are suspicious that illegitimate behavior took place, but cannot be 100% certain. For the 7.2 Legends runs, we found many summoners that seem to have taken a trip to another area of the world before reappearing at their original location. While we're fairly certain that this is not the case, it would be an awfully big coincidence that this many summoners were taking trips and completing their Legends runs while away, we cannot prove that this did not happen with 100% certainty and cannot act on it because of this. As a result, we are no longer confident that we can continue the Legends program as it currently exists, and have made the difficult decision to suspend the Act-specific Legends run program moving forward. The monthly Event Quest Legends Run program will continue unchanged. We spent quite some time on the 7.2 Legends list, and we are happy with where we have landed with it. We expect to have the list out soon and to reward the players that made it to the top. In addition, we are expanding the list to 125 players. We are exploring new ways in which we can deliver Mythic and Legends titles, as well as Wolverine Weapon X, but do not have anything to share at this time. We hope to be able to do a Legends program again in the future, and are sad that we had to make a decision like this. However, when creating and running an extremely competitive program of this nature, we need to be sure that those who are playing legitimately are the ones being rewarded, and not the client of a merc. Thank you for your understanding, the MCOC game team. So there it is. The Legends Run program, at least for story content, is being discontinued. Cancelled, scrapped, no longer going to exist. 7.2, that was the last run of it. Who's to blame for something like this? Well, it's up to you, your perspective. You could say it's Kabam's fault for not being able to keep their own game clean. You could say it's the fault of the mercs for providing these services that take away from the legitimate players. You could say it's the clients, as it's called here, but it's otherwise known as the selfish, entitled group of players that can't even fathom the idea of other players earning rewards that they can't get themselves for one reason or another. I mean, you know, what does it even matter? You can't even see these people anyway. It's just a bunch of letters lined up on a list. Some of these, names. I mean, actually, even better. If you take their spot on the list, you don't even get to see their name. So it's really like you're not even hurting anyone, right? Is that how these players are justifying it? I don't know, man. It's probably some fault of everyone involved. But at the end of the day, it sucks. It's simple as that, man. It kind of sucks to see this system go away. On the one hand, good riddance. I never really enjoyed doing the Legends runs anyway. Going back to 5.4 was the first story Legends run that I did. I skipped 6.1 and 6.2 because at the time there were no champions that even compared to the likes of Corvus and Ghost in terms of speed, at least, and I did not have either of those champions. And 6.1 you had to be top 20, 6.2 you had to be top 40 to get the top prizes. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But then after 5.4, I did a Legends run for 6.3, 6.4, 7.1, 7.2. So five out of the last 7 chapters of story content I did a Legends run for. And As much as I kind of, didn't enjoy the process, I actually had some big plans for 7.3. I had some strategies, some tricks up my sleeve that I thought were a little bit new, a little bit different, a little bit original, that was going to potentially allow me to go for a really top time. But it's gone now. It's done with, man. The bigger issue, rather than like the Legends run system no longer existing, because like I said, 4 out of those 5 times I did it, I didn't enjoy it. So the bigger issue with it is it leaves me wondering, like just what now, man? What now? Because I don't have that strong of a drive to go after these champions. We need to have that drive in order to keep the game interesting, in order to keep each new champion that comes out, having some level of desire to play for and get to these champions. Just to give one example here of what I'm talking about, like let's look at Jabari Panther, one of the champions that I bet if we had access to Kabam's sales, I bet you this was one of the champions that had like the lowest number of sales in terms of crystals. The desire for Jabari was probably pretty low, I would imagine. And from a player standpoint here, I mean, Jabari wasn't that bad of a champion. It's just not a big name in the Marvel comics. Is not seemingly not having much of an impact in Alliance Quest, Alliance War, any of the top game modes or anything like that. But there was one synergy here that really made me interested in Jabari. It's this tribal warfare synergy, where for Black Panther it says critical hits have an 80% chance to inflict a bleed debuff, dealing 50% of their attack and damage over 4 seconds. And I look at this synergy, and the gears are turning, man. The gears are turning because of the Legends run system. I don't need more bleed damage in my roster. I've got plenty of champions that will inflict bleed for the few times that I need to do it. For nodes like Do You Bleed, I'm good. And it's unlikely that any new piece of content is going to come out in the next year, 2 years, however long, where I'm going to be like, oh man, I need this synergy, otherwise I'm not going to be able to get through it. And the game's designed that way for a reason. If the game was that ultra specific, so many people would be locked out of doing this content. But I kind of enjoyed being locked out of being able to do a Legends run. I kind of enjoyed not having Ghost or Corvus for 6.1 or 6.2, because it meant that every single crystal that I popped open could unlock that ability for me to do a Legends run. Just like getting this synergy could potentially give me a slight edge over the competition, because it doesn't matter in regular questing content if you can get through a fight a few seconds faster, but it absolutely does in story content. It absolutely does. And I look at this synergy and the gears are turning, because it's a short duration bleed. It's a fairly strong bleed. It's only 50% of their attack, but if you think about all the ways you could modify your attack, of which there are many, suddenly 50%, that's not too bad. And over 4 seconds, that's a short duration bleed, which means something like the Deep Wounds Mastery, has a greater effect because of the duration on it. So, I start kind of crunching the numbers in my mind, thinking like, is this going to allow me to go through Do You Bleed nodes faster over players who maybe are not looking that in depth to the strategy? It gives a little bit of a strategy edge, and gives a sense of purpose to getting a champion like Jabari. Now, I don't know if that synergy actually was useful during Legends runs. I'm just giving you a perspective of every single new champion that comes out. These are the things that I look for. These are some of the things, at least, that I look for. And with the discontinuation of the Legends run system, something like that is just something that's taken away. Now, of course, there's still reasons to go for new champions. There's still prestige, which the prestige system, much like the legend system, is a flawed system. But it's still a system that gives purpose to going after new champions. Right now, we're at an interesting time because some players have already achieved the max prestige possible that they can get. So for those people, I wonder, like, do they still have a purpose when they look at these new champions that don't break into the top 5? I wonder what they're thinking. And then the Alliance War, Alliance War has been on pause right now because of all the parry issues going on in the game, and I'm sure that's going to get fixed, but all these things are kind of piling upon one another, and it really sucks to see all of it happening at the same time. Not to mention Alliance War, one of the game modes that again motivates players to actually go after and get these champions. The development of it hasn't been the best, to put it as politely as possible. It feels like the game mode, the spotlight hasn't really been on Alliance Wars for a long time. It feels like Kabam has kind of done the bare minimum to keep the game mode, at least, of Alliance Wars slightly updated, but yeah, it needs a lot more. It needs a lot more change to keep it fresh and everything. So yeah, right now it is that feeling of like, well, why do I even go through the side quest of the content? Why do I even go through like the monthly event quest, Alliance quest, all of these modes? Like, I do think eventually it'll have an impact. The game, dude, MCOC, we've had plenty of kind of dips in excitement of the game and different game modes and things like that, and then it always kind of bounces back, and soon enough we are going to have that solo competitive mode. And I am sure that once, well, maybe I shouldn't be sure about it, but I think at least once that game mode hits, that sense of purpose for getting these champions will be back up. It will be important to, you know, seek these champions. It will be important. It will give meaning to opening up the crystals again, which again drives the rest of the game, motivates to go through some of the more monotonous side of things, because who cares if it's a little monotonous? It's going to give you that catalyst to rank up your champion, to allow you to be more competitive if you so choose. Like, to be honest, I'm not even looking at the solo competitive mode. I'm not thinking like, oh, I'm going to be #1 in this or something like that. I don't have that big of a desire, but it is fun for me to at least think about the potential pushing these boundaries, and, you know, just getting these champions that will allow me to, you know, place a little bit higher on some you know, some somewhat arbitrary list, or place, you know, allow me to win another match in a solo competitive mode, or maybe push an extra room in the incursions or something like that. Even if I'm not looking to do that stuff all the time, it's fun to collect the champions and think about the possibilities that those champions unlock, just like needing to get Corvus and Ghost unlocked the ability for me to do 6.1 and 6.2 Legends runs. Just like for players who don't even care about Legends runs at all, how it's exciting for them to get champions to allow them to get Uncollected or Cavalier, or that catalyst to get Thronebreaker, or whatever the case may be. Every single one of us, we need these motivators in game, and the Legends run system was one of the larger motivators for me. Even though I didn't enjoy doing the act of the Legends run itself, I loved thinking about the possibility of all these champions and how they can contribute towards saving a little bit of time. You know, Kabam, they talked a big game when it came to Summer of Pain and Grandmaster's Gauntlet and stuff. I can't remember. I think they mentioned about the Grandmaster's Gauntlet, where they were like, hey, do you got a bunch of rank 3s going untested? Well, we've got the content for you, or something like that. And to be honest, the rank 3s outside of Alliance War, outside of Prestige, and outside of Legends runs, they still are going untested for a lot of players. Certainly not the majority of players in the game, but a lot of the players who have been playing this game, you know, have been playing this game enough to have completed all of the content. I've been playing this game long enough that you know, we are kind of looking forward to that next big thing. You know, as fun as the Grandmaster's Gauntlet was, and as fun as Summer of Pain is, I'm not even blaming these quests. I think these quests are great. It's just, when looking at the game as a whole, what does push players to keep going? I don't think we've had a need for rank 3 champions. Like I said, outside of War and Prestige and Legends runs, I don't think we had a need for rank 3 champions. So are we going to have a need for rank 4 champions? Like, this game, I don't know, man. For all the for all the bad things that came along with Act 6 and like the restriction of not allowing to bring in 4-star champions for it, it did give purpose, at least, where needing to get these 5 and 6-star champions provided a lot of purpose, a lot of motivation to go after and get these champions. Whereas for 6-star champions, we haven't had something like that, and I'm not asking for Kabam to bring something like that to make it so that you can no longer use 5-star champions in content, but I still do feel like there needs to be something more. You know, when looking at the Act 7 stuff, at least it provided a global node that increased the attack of your 6-star champions. And for a Legends run, that's very, very important, increasing your attack. That's one of the only things that matters, right? How hard can you hit? How fast can you get through the content? But you take away the Legends system, and dude, my 5 stars will make it through all of Act 7. If there's no restrictions put in place for, you know, the rest of Act 7, my 5 stars will make it through just fine. If there's no restrictions put into Act 8, without even seeing Act 8 content, I can almost guarantee, yes, my 5 stars will make it through there just fine. It's left leaving me thinking like, well, what now? What is the motivator now? And I can't wait to see the solo competitive mode to know if that's a game mode that I'm going to enjoy or not. The Summoner Showdown, like the finals part of it, where they're kind of using that as a little bit of a model for the solo competitive mode. I wasn't super interested in that. I'm hoping that Kabam is, you know, taking their time to make the proper tweaks necessary to have that be a long-lasting game mode. Something that is interesting, something that does make me think about all the little different strategies that can come about with champions and stuff like that. But almost no matter what, almost no matter how that game mode looks, it's going to be a different driving force compared to something like the Legends run. I don't even know, like, were synergies even at all a thing in the Summoner Showdown? Because I don't think it was, right? I think it was just you ban some champions, you play some champions. There's strategy there involved, absolutely, but it's a different kind of strategy. So am I going to enjoy it? Am I not going to enjoy it? I don't know. I'm just looking for some kind of motivator now that the Legends run system is dead. I mean, dead for now, at least. Kabam, you know, they did mention that hopefully, you know, they're exploring new ways in which they can deliver Mythic and Legends titles and all that stuff. Hopefully they can figure out some way to bring this program back, but who knows, man. So yeah, I don't know. There's plenty more to talk about, but I don't want to make this video that long. I rather save it for a discussion where we can get different perspectives on things. So, you know, leave your thoughts in the comments, absolutely. But I'm also looking forward to talking about this during live streams, and yeah, getting your guys' takes on it all, getting your guys' thoughts. Do you even care at all that the Legends run system is leaving? I'm like, there's so few people that even participated. I mean, even bumping it up to 125 players, when thinking about how many thousands and thousands and millions of people have downloaded this game and all that, it's such a small percentage of players that this is affecting. But it's also like the most dedicated players that this is affecting too. So it really sucks. And Kabam really needs to find a way to keep players engaged, keep players interested in going after these new champions. I hope that they understand exactly how important that is, because if there's no interest, if these champions don't matter, then the side quest doesn't matter, alliance quest doesn't matter, nothing in the game matters at that point. Now, just to end things on a little bit of a positive note here, Kabam's doing this for a reason. You know, I'm sure that even though they say it was a difficult decision to make, I'm sure that whatever they see as the future for MCOC, they're seeing that a game in which Legends run systems doesn't exist allows them to provide a better game experience for everyone. So if they're able to take these the hundreds of hours that it's taking for them to go through this manual process, if they're able to kind of take a step back and figure out some other ways to ensure that players are playing legitimately, like, that might have an effect on other things in the game besides Legends run systems. Hopefully those things can can be methods that also have an effect on the arenas to help clean up the rampant cheating in arenas and things like that. So this could potentially lead to some greatness for the future of MCOC, even though it sucks right now. So yeah, we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see how as it all plays out. But like I said, we'll continue discussing this during the live streams and all that. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.